on there. And for me, a little splash of Worcester on there and a little bit more parsley. There we have it, a simple 18th, 19th century recipe that fed generations. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're going back in time. 18th century, we're making Convent Eggs. Convent Eggs. Okay, old one. Grands and nans would have made this. People over 50-year-old will probably remember this in a different, in a way. Younger than that, you won't have a clue. So it's definitely worth keeping alive. So this is Convent Eggs, the forgotten recipe that fed Britain. Okay, it fed generations. Now we're going to make one small ingredient change, and I'll tell you that along the way. Right, let's crack on. We want some eggs in here with some water, and we want to bring them to the boil. So we're going to put some water in there. That will do it. It's probably too much. And we're going to put 6 eggs in there. Nice and steady. And we're going to bring it to the boil. Now, it does not matter if these eggs crack or anything like that while you're bringing it to the boil, because we are going to slice them and cook them. Okay, we just need to bring that up to a boil in there. And we're not going to say boil for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. We want hard boiled eggs. It does not matter if you boil for 15 minutes. Okay, whilst that's coming up to a boil, we've got a cracked egg there, look, already. Not to worry, whilst that's coming up to the boil, I'll just put a little bit of salt in there. I'll add that around like that, that will do. Right, while that's coming up to a boil, we want to actually mince up some parsley. This looks a bit sorry, but there you go, that's how it is. So I'll give it a little one of those, and we want to be over there. Come on. Now, the original recipes did have parsley in and on. I guess that was what was growing around at the time. And we want an onion. I've got a red onion, but you know, back in the day, probably white onion. We want to dice. Now, it wants to be a little bit finer, I guess. You know, but don't, worry about it too much. Because it's going to actually be cooked in with the egg. So, oh, we got one of those fruit flies, look. So nice and steady. So we're good to go. We've got our onion. We're going to put that back in there. We can get rid of the board. That's it. We've got veggie. There we go. Just bring those onions. So just bring those eggs to the boil. Okay, that will do. Get some cold water in there and let's have them cool down. Okay, let's just move that. There's our eggs. All we need to do now, there's that broken one, look. We need to peel, dice, mash, slice, do whatever you feel. Okay. I'm all thumbs these days, look. I've got no nails, but anyway, come on. There we go. Right, we're going to do that with all our eggs. We're just going to chuck them back in that bowl. Oh, another watery one that must have been bust open. Not to worry. Okay, it's entirely up to you whether you want to slice these, dice these, break them up, do whatever, okay? What we're going to do is cook with the eggs, so it doesn't really matter. Chunk up, slice up, up to you, okay? In there, we want a couple of tablespoons of butter. Get a flame on, and we're going to fry off our onions. In there, onions. Now we're not really looking for colour, we're looking for softness and get rid of the raw of the onion. A little bit of salt in there, that's going to help bring out the moisture of those onions. Now if you're using salted butter, you might not have to go that way. Let's have those cooked. So we want a good softening on these onions because these are actually going to be in our sauce. We don't want chunky onions, but that's up to you. If you don't want to cook them soft, leave them as you like. It normally takes about 8 minutes actually to cook even a little amount of onions like this to make those soft. Okay, in there, a couple of tablespoons of flour. Bring that in. Cook out the rawness of the flour. We're making a roux, obviously. Now I will add that this is the British version of Convent Eggs. The French have a different version, cooking with cream and things. Now where did Convent Eggs come from? No one has a clue. Okay, it appeared in recipes from the 18th, 19th century, and they think it's because recipes like this were used in those institutions, those convents. But they are not 100% certain. It just appeared. Okay, we're in there with our milk, and we're not doing the sturdy little bit, chuck it all in. Nice little whiz up in there like that. Now look, don't worry if it's got lumps in, the lumps will dissolve, it's only flour. Just let it do its thing. Right, we want a little shake of white pepper in there. And we want a pinch of nutmeg. Here's the ingredient, Worcester sauce. Now this wasn't used, they just used salt and pepper. Okay, oops, I've splashed myself, there you go. It wasn't used, okay? However, from 1837, when this was commercialized, folks started using a bit of this. There you go. Now as soon as you feel this start to thicken into a sauce, we chuck our eggs in here. And then we turn down the heat a little bit because we just want to warm the egg mixture through. Now I'm feeling that is starting to thicken. Okay. Now we don't want a super thick sauce. In there, our eggs. Oh, you know, I chucked it on myself again. It's going to be one of those days today, look. I chucked all this on me. Right, we just bring this to a nice, thickish, creamy dish. So it's just steady, look, it's going to cook into a big, thick, creamy dish. Nice and steady. And obviously you decide how thick you want to go. Smells amazing. You know, and over the years, you can just see how we got egg mayonnaise sandwiches and all that sort of stuff, you know. Now, what I'm going to do is stir through some parsley and save some for the top, yeah? And then we've got a little fleck of green through there. Not that you're probably going to see it with all this creamy sauce, but there you are, look at that. That is sensational. So that's it. That creamy, gloopy egg mixture is Convent Eggs. Let's get it served up, come on. So in good old-fashioned English ways, get on there with some butter. Oh yes, please. And on that one. On there. And for me, a little splash of Worcester on there and a little bit more parsley. There you go. There we have it, a simple 18th, 19th century recipe that fed generations. Okay, let's get in here. Whoa. Oh, come on, what's not to like? It's just onion and egg in a nice creamy sauce. Amazing. That is superb. That is excellent. There you go, an old recipe. Simple to make, isn't it? You know, a roux and some eggs. That would be nice with half a side of bacon, but there you go. Convent Eggs, okay? If you like what we're doing, share with your friends, tell them how easy it is to make this old recipe. And if you do like what we're doing, a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Catch you in the next video. Amazing.